It's the finale of the homestand, the last game against the Corpus Christi Hooks, and as we are every Sunday, we're joined by RoughRiders manager Jason Wood. And Jason, it always seems like whenever the Frisco RoughRiders play the Corpus Christi Hooks, the umpires seem to somehow get involved. The third inning last night, Smolinski called out on a close play at first base, ultimately led to his ejection and your first ejection of the season. Tell me how you saw things from your perspective with the way that play went and the immediate aftermath.
Well, I think my initial reaction, obviously, was very upsetting to see that Smolinski had beaten that ball out by a pretty good margin, and so I felt it was only right in that instance to go out there and let Ryan know, the umpire that is, of how I felt about that. And the reason being, too, is a sense because it was a play our rally was getting going in that inning, and to see Smolinski by the bag and to see his frustration just initiated my thoughts on the whole thing. So it was very upsetting. But that's baseball. That's the heat of the moment. That's part of it, and it's a battle between Corpus Christi and ourselves, and things like that happen.
It's obviously not ideal, but you could do worse than when you leave the game, have such an experienced group in your dugout with Jason Hart, who's filled in as a manager a few times, Jeff Andrews, who pretty much handles the pitching, but you also had Casey Candell and Brooks Jacoby and James Valade here in the dugout, so you were fully staffed last night, even with you not being able to see the last two-thirds of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. That wasn't a thought that crossed my mind, but as I walked into the dugout and handed the lineup card to Hardy, I looked around and said, these guys will be just fine. So, it's nice to have experience like that, and each and every one of these guys, they've got all the trust in them, and they do just as good a job as I do with Jeff and Jason, who are here on a daily basis with me. It's nice to have that.
You were not here for the first part of the homestand. You were on your vacation, which is something that the Rangers do for all of their coaches throughout the organization, allow them to take a few days off during the season to spend time however they wish. You went home, back out to California. How much do you appreciate the ability that the organization gives you to take some time and be away from the team, be with your family during the season?
It's wonderful. First of all, being away from your family as long as we are is tough enough in itself, and for the Rangers to allow you to take a 4-day break, which they do for every person in player development throughout the course of a year, is something that's great. And it just so happened that this year my daughter had her first communion last Saturday, so I was able to be home for that, and a special family event, and spent some time at home with the girls. And we also had an off day here on Wednesday, so that made a little bit extra too. It's got some 5 days out of it. But once again, it's nice to get back home and just to be with everybody.
It was a little bit of a hectic day when you got back home. You come back to DFW, and all of a sudden you're told, hey, you're losing your middle infield. It's becoming a little bit of a routine now for you to be able to tell guys that they're going up to the big leagues. Odor and Sardinia sent up, second time for Sardi, first time for Rugi. That must be always a special moment to be able to tell those guys, and you must have been happy for Rugned with his first promotion.
Absolutely. What a great actually, it was a good phone call for myself as I landed in Dallas on Thursday, and I was told that both Sardinas and Rugi were going to go to the big leagues and be a part of that team and contribute on a nightly basis and get a lot of playing time, and that was my only concern. But John Daniels had informed me that those two will be a big part of the lineup each day, and so I was happy for that, and I could not wait to get back here to the clubhouse and to bring those two in my office and bring Rugi in first and really let him know how much I felt about what a player he is, and how much that the Rangers are asking for him, and he's going to be called to the big league. So it was a great experience. He was very happy, obviously very excited, and just excited for those two to contribute up there at that level.
It was a little bit of a rough entry for Rugned just because of the part that he played in Friday night's ball game, that confusing play with him and Rios, the ball that dropped that broke up the perfect game. I'm sure that you felt for Rugned to be in that situation, playing a shift really for the first time to that extreme level, probably in a long time, and then having that ball fall very close to his glove.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I told myself when I went to the big leagues, I think the toughest thing for me was judgment on fly balls, is how big those stadiums are, and Rugi had a tough play, and he and Rios were caught in between on that one, and it just so happened that thing fell, and like Wash said, he said it best. They asked him what he thought about that play, and obviously he said, you know what, that ball should have been caught. Whether it's Rugi, whether it's Rios, somebody has to make that catch, and it's too bad that it didn't happen. And it's too bad that you didn't get the no-hitter in a sense, but what a great performance he had and a good job he's doing. But that's, I don't know whose fault really that was. The shift was on, but it's just a tough play, and at days in, that ball does have to be caught.
Getting back to the guys that are currently on this team, Michael De Leon, who few people I'm sure had ever heard of prior to his promotion up here to be one of the guys that fills in for Rugnet and Luis. He's getting the start today, his first ever professional game, never mind his first Double-A game. First time he's ever played in any sort of game after being signed. He's only 17 years old. He's got to be the youngest guy you've probably ever had in one of your lineups.
I've had some young ones, but yeah, Michael is the youngest that I've had and I've seen, and been able to work with him the last 3 days, and he's got some pretty good hands at shortstop. So we'll give him an opportunity to play today. I don't know how much longer he's going to be here. He did come in to fill in for the time being until we find out what we're going to do in the middle of the infield. So the hard work he's put in, we'll put him out there today and give him a shot and see what happens.
As for another guy in your lineup, not a natural cleanup hitter, but he's really settled into that spot. Tomas Nido has been on fire with the bat. He had a couple of home runs on this homestand, and he just seems to be good for a base hit or two every single game. It's not always pretty with Tomas, but boy, he really gets the job done, and he's come along defensively as well.
Absolutely. Tomas is a gamer in all means of it. He's not afraid of a fastball. He gives you good at-bats from both sides of the plate, and he's got a knack to driving some runs when the time is right. So I love him there. He's not trying to do too much. He puts the bat on the ball and gets after it. So, you might see Talise in that spot for a while.
And he also will steal a base every now and then for you. Today is Mother's Day. Everyone's mother had some sort of role that they played in their life. When it comes to baseball, is there anything that your mother did to help further your career? And tell me what she means to you with regard to your life in baseball.
My mom was there for me from day one, obviously, and the choices that I made in the game of baseball. Was always there on the phone if I was away from it pro ball to give me that boost of confidence, and the stuff that she did to take me to the ball games when I was younger, and just to be there is the biggest thing. And I like to say Happy Mother's Day to my mother, and also to my wife, who's also been a big part of my life and big part of this game of baseball. She's been there for over half of it, and the job that she does with the family that we have when I'm not there is just outstanding. What a wonderful lady, and I just want to say Happy Mother's Day to my wife and to my mother and to all the mothers out there today.
Thank you very much, Jason. Thanks for the time, and good luck today.
Thanks for having me. Go Riders.
That's RoughRiders manager Jason Wood. We're back right after this on the Frisco RoughRiders Baseball Network.